Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a little dive into r/BestofRedditorUpdates. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. And of course, quick disclaimer, any opinions I give on the posts we read are just opinions, not facts, do not need to be taken as such. If you have a different opinion, please feel free to leave it in the comments below. Just make sure you're keeping it respectful. There is no need to be mean with people just because you do not agree. With that being said, let's get into it then, shall we? So this first one was posted by Joy Subtraction, and the title is Woman Turns Up to Pay for a Wedding That We Don't Have in the Diary. Her wedding is tomorrow. Oh no, someone made a big faux pas there with the planning. Whoopsie. So, of course, Joy Subtraction is not the original poster. The original poster is you/Leah Mornor, I think. Joy Subtraction is the person who compiled it together and posted it all for us like a lovely wee bean. And it was originally posted in r/Tales from the Front Desk on the 2nd of the 8th, 2019. A large part of my job is answering phones and dealing with people who want to hire out our large function room. In our town, our room is one of the very few places available to hold wedding receptions, birthday parties, etc. The process of hiring the room is quite simple. People ring up all the time and ask if the date they want is free. If it is, we place a hold on the date for 14 days. If we don't hear back from them, then it opens up to anyone else that wants it. If they do decide they want it, they have to come in for an appointment with either me or my boss. We go through the booking form and help them fill it in and explain the T's and C's with them. They then pay their deposit and the function gets written in the diary. We don't take deposits without a booking form, and we don't take bucket forms without a deposit. You have to physically come in and hand both over. None of this can be done online. We don't have a website. Fast forward to this morning when Bridezilla walks in with her mother. So then they wrote a little helpful guide for who's who. So Bridezilla will be B, mother of the bride will be Mob, and then me equals me, which is the OP. Me. Hi, can I help? B. I'm here to pay the deposit for my wedding. Me. Okay, let me get you a form and we'll go through it. What date did you book? B. Tomorrow. The smile on my face dropped. We have a birthday party booked in tomorrow. There is no way she can have a wedding here tomorrow. Me, tomorrow isn't available. We already have a booking. Mob, you double booked? You'll have to cancel the other booking. Me, we haven't double booked. If you haven't filled a form in or paid deposit, then you haven't booked the room. When did you ask about the date? Mob, last July. I remember because we came in before we went for my birthday lunch. Me, we only hold the date for 2 weeks. Someone will have told you that at the time. B, yeah, but it's a wedding. Me, the same rules apply. If you don't fill in a form and pay the deposit within the 2 weeks, we open it up to everyone else. Unfortunately, someone else has booked the room. B, I did it all online. Me, you did what online? B, paid for the room. Me, then why are you here today trying to pay for it now? B, me, we don't have a website, so you can't do anything online. Mob, she can't have the wedding here? Me, no, sorry. They left. There was no shouting, no anger at me, nothing. She just casually shrugged her shoulders and walked away. I'm fully expecting the wedding party to turn up tomorrow all kitted out. Oh no. Edit to add, my boss saw her throwing a huge tantrum in the road outside of our building. Oh no. TLDR, woman turns up to pay for a wedding the day before it's due to take place. She failed to secure the date and we booked something else in. So a few comments, I'm assuming the relevant comments. That darn cat said, I'm sure the marriage will be a soaring success with that level of planning. OOP says, if I remember correctly, they've been together a good 15 years, engaged for at least 10. He told her if she wanted a wedding, she had to plan the whole thing. Well, that's a great sign, isn't it? It's basically a show of commitment with not really wanting to put in the commitment. He wanted zero involvement. He just wanted to turn up to the church and then get drunk with his mates afterwards. Dogzilla's mum says, is it possible she mixed up venues and put down a deposit somewhere else? OOP says, there's nowhere in town that she'd be able to have it, so unless she booked a venue in a different town with a similar name, she's just an idiot. So a deleted user then says, from how you put it down, the bride didn't seem like a bridezilla. Just a misinformed bride who didn't have all the things set up. I hope she can find a venue in time. I don't know, I would disagree, because turning up to somewhere and saying, hey, I spoke to you on the phone about possibly having a wedding here in July, you should have saved that day. What do you mean you didn't save that day? Oh, I'm so confused. I'd say that's like a different kind of bridezilla. It's like entitled to the point of just being a little bit dense. Do you know what I mean? And then the OOP says, it's the tantrum she threw outside that makes me think she's a bridezilla. That and assuming you can walk into a venue the day before your wedding and assume everything is sorted for you. Exactly. So then we had an update post posted on 2019-02-14. I was at work by myself for most of the afternoon after Bridezilla had left. My co-worker came in to take over from me, and for about 10 minutes I fill her in on everything that's happened that day, including Bridezilla. Co-worker makes a comment about how she's glad she has nothing to do with the booking room, and that if she did, she'd be getting the blame for the whole thing. I go into the back room to switch my shoes and get my things together before I leave. I happen to glance at the CCTV monitor and notice that Bridezilla is walking along the corridor. She walks up to my co-worker and I listen in, as of course, standard. B. Hi, I'm wondering if you can help me. I'm attending a party tomorrow night and need to make some arrangements with my friends whose party it is, but I've lost her phone number. No, you were not going to. They're going to try and ring them and try and be like, hey, can you not have your party tomorrow, please? I was wondering if you'd be able to find it for me. C. Sorry, I can't do that. B. It's okay. We're best friends. She wouldn't really mind. C. I don't have access to the information. I couldn't give it to you even if you wanted it. They're coming in to decorate the room later. You could come back then. B. There must be someone who can give me the number. My co-worker comes back to get me from the back room and asks me if I heard her. Why the fuck would she want their number? I come out to try and bully them into not having the room. That's why. Me. Yeah, we can't give you that info. B. I don't see the big deal. Me. Do you need it to tell her that you can't attend because you'll be at your wedding that she mustn't be invited to? I can pass that message on for you. She shrugged and walked out. I can only imagine she was going to phone them and ask them to cancel their party so that she could have the room. Yes, exactly. The next day, I'm at work pretty much all day. I have a word with the people having the party and let them know that if anyone turns up that they haven't invited, to let me know. We have a couple people turn up looking for a wedding. We tell them about the mix-up and they don't seem surprised. A lady who said she was the groom's mother said that she had only been told 3 days before about the wedding and that they'd invited a bunch of people to a reception, but nobody knew when or where the actual wedding ceremony was. Oh my goodness. She'd spoken to her son that morning and he said he'd text the details but then apparently forgot. It's the most casual I've seen people be about organising a wedding. This isn't just casual, mate. This is just completely negligent on their part. Like, what the hell? Anyway, and that's the last that we got of that. I wish there was more. That is crazy that people actually turned up. Insane. So, down in the comments, Bronwyn Noodle says, I can only imagine the text exchange between the mother of the groom and the groom. Groom, my wedding is in 3 days. See you there. Mother of the groom, hey honey, what's the time? Venue? Dress code? Where's the reception? Groom leaves her on red. Mother of the groom, the day of. The hotel says there's no wedding today. Did something happen? Groom, oh yeah, forgot to tell you about that. And then Grace McClellan says, this is the laziest wedding I have ever seen. Honestly. Like, I just hope they never have kids because, oh my goodness. Could you imagine them trying to organise just getting them to school? Oh my life. So we've got time for another, and of course this one was posted by Direct Caterpillar 77. My 34M ex-wife, 32F, divorced me after she got cancer so that she could leave first. Now she wants to come back. Should I give her another chance? Well, that's quite the title. So, of course, Direct Caterpillar is not the original poster. The original poster is u/throwra8424209. Direct Caterpillar is the person who compiled it for us like a lovely wee bean, of course. And it was originally posted in r/relationship advice on May 23rd, 2023. And of course, there is trigger warnings for talks of cancer. And I'm assuming cancer treatment and whatnot. I know that can be a sensitive subject for some people, so this is the last post we'll read today. If you want to dip out now, that is perfectly fine. I will see you in the next one, but otherwise, if you want to carry on listening, we shall get into the meat and potatoes of the post. I met my wife, I'll call her Anna, during our first year of university. We dated through university and got married right after graduation. Things were happy for about a while until Anna discovered a lump in her right breast. I encouraged her to have it checked out. She was reluctant to do so, but ultimately did because breast cancer runs in her family, and sure enough, that's what she had. The good news, if it can be considered good news, was that the breast cancer she had was extremely treatable with chemo and radiation. Based on her family history, her doctor also recommended a double mastectomy for her. This put Anna in a really dark place. I suggested she go to therapy, but she outright refused and said that she never wanted to hear me suggest that again. So I did my best to be encouraging and supportive to her. I took time off work to be at every appointment with her. I took on 100% of the household chores, both inside and out. I did all of the shopping. I drove Anna everywhere she wanted to go. Planned out special dates for us. I gave an hour-long foot massage every night. I literally did whatever I could. About 6 weeks into her treatment, Anna brought up the idea of going to stay with her sister Sarah for a week. This honestly relieved me as I was burning the candle at both ends trying to accomplish everything, and I thought some time apart would help us both. 2 nights into her stay with Sarah, Anna called me and said that she wanted a divorce. She said that she had read a lot about men who abandon their wives when their wives get sick, and that she was determined to leave before I could leave her. Wow, okay. I understand Sarah's going through a lot. I really do. I can't even imagine what she's going through, honestly, and the way that would mess with your head. But that is quite cold, isn't it? Just to up and leave, be like, oh, I'm staying with my sister, and then to drop that on your husband who's been trying to really show that they're there for you. Yeah, my goodness. I can't put into words how much this crushed me. I loved my wife. She was everything. I begged her to reconsider. I told her that I had never thought of leaving her, not even once. I asked her again to go to therapy. She refused again. I asked her to go to couples therapy with me. She wouldn't. I asked her what I could do to convince her to stay. She said there was nothing. I am a man and therefore I would leave. End of story. Yeah, I know she's going through a lot and I imagine her head is not in the right place right now. I can imagine it can really mess with your sense of reality when you're told that you have something that could literally end you. Do you know what I mean? But still, I'm wondering if there is more to this than just that, just for the fact that OP's like, will you go to therapy with me? Will you do therapy on your own? What can I do to convince you? And she's like, nope, you're a bloke, you're gonna go, so I'm leaving. Is there something more that we're not privy to yet? I don't know, but that just seems really out of the blue. It took a year because of where we live, thanks COVID, but eventually everything was finalised. I ended up selling the house and splitting the proceeds between me and my now ex-wife. I didn't want to stay in that town anymore, so I put in a transfer request at my job and ended up moving to a town about 2 hours away. For the past couple years, I've been focusing on myself more. I got a dog, I've been on a few dates, but nothing serious. I picked up hiking as a hobby and started gardening. Out of the blue, Anna called me 3 weeks ago. She said she'd been in town on a trip with friends and saw me, and all her old feelings rushed back. She said she was sick and out of her mind at the time, and that I couldn't hold her words or actions against her. She said she still loved me, that she always had, and that she regretted leaving me. She begged me to give her another chance. Honestly, I think if it was me in the OP's shoes, I'd be like, I'm sorry, but I can't do that. Because I imagine this was like pretty flipping crushing for the OP, especially considering they really, really tried to convince her. And they just kind of got smacked with the reality that their wife had cancer. And then within the next breath, it's like, oh, and now she's divorcing you. That's going to cause a lot of upset, a lot of like second guessing, a lot of all sorts of just awful feelings, isn't it? And yeah, obviously Sarah was going through a lot too, but we're concentrating on how it would be from the OP standpoint for the time being. So yeah, I think if it was me and they were like, look, I genuinely wasn't in my right frame of mind and I completely regret that, I would still myself say, I'm sorry, but I cannot come back. Like, I can't risk you doing this again if something else comes up. Do you know what I mean? Yes, she was the person who was ill, but still, I would have to say no. With the understanding that, yeah, she probably wasn't in the right frame of mind. You know, and that probably did spur on some feelings, but then I'd still have to put my own sense of self-preservation at the forefront and being like, I can't risk this happening again though. So they go on to say, I'm so confused if I'm being honest. I still love Anna, but I'm no longer in love with her. She broke my heart. I was devastated when she ended things. It took me a long time to get my head on right, but I also know that she really was in a bad place because of the cancer. Do I owe it to her and what we had to hear her out? I think that's a very personal choice, isn't it? But for me, you don't owe her at all. No, absolutely not. You don't owe anyone anything, you know, unless you're the person who has wronged them. You don't owe them anything. And if it's going to affect you too much mentally to do that, then no, I wouldn't, personally. I'm scared that if we reconnect, I'll always feel like she has one foot out the door, but maybe that's unfair. I don't know what to do. Should I give her another chance like she wants? I mean, I personally wouldn't, but if you're going to, I'd be like, the caveat of me giving you another chance is that you have to go to couples therapy with me. Otherwise, I'm not interested. Do you know what I mean? Like, personally, I would not. I just think it's a bad idea for your own mental well-being. But if you are going to, it would have to be with therapy in mind. One, to deal with whatever that was that made her feel that way in a time of crisis. And also to deal with the feelings that the OP is obviously even just pointed out there and then. That feeling of, well, now I'm going to feel like it will only take one thing and then you'll be back out the door. Anyway, we have an update 3 days later. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who left comments on my original post. I now know what people mean when they say rip my inbox. I posted that and went to bed never expecting that it would blow up so much, By the time I woke up, the post was locked. Not sure why. I think if there's a lot of people posting in a short amount of time, it just automatically locks it, doesn't it? Or I think some do that anyway. So I couldn't respond to any comments, but I read as many as I could and tried to take everything into consideration. Many of you suggested I reach out to my ex-wife, Anna, for an in-person conversation. The overwhelming consensus was that meeting her in person would tell me all I needed to know. And you were right. That seemed reasonable to me. I texted her and she jumped at the chance to meet, and we did so yesterday after I was done with work. I chose to ask her to meet at a local coffee shop. Maybe it sounds bad, but I didn't want to meet her at my house or anywhere private, just in case. No, I understand that, because also if you're meeting somewhere private, then it's harder to walk away from the situation if you need to, or feel like you're done with it and you just want to go. Always best to meet in a neutral zone, I think. And public as well, because it's just a good way of ensuring everyone behaves. Well, most of the time. Anyway, Anna was already there when I got there. She got up and hugged me. I let her, but didn't hug her back. Then we sat down. I asked her to remain quiet while I talked, and then I told her everything. I'm going to sum it up here because I honestly don't remember everything I said. I think I talked for like 10 minutes solid while she just sat there and teared up. But I told her things like how much she had devastated me. I told her that I would have stuck with her through thick and thin, no matter what. I told her that I loved her and that hadn't changed after her diagnosis or treatment plan. I told her that I was broken after she initiated the divorce. I told her how hard it was for me to pull myself back together. A lot of you pointed out that if Anna and I got back together, I should be worried about what she would do the next time she got sick, or if I got sick, exactly what I was saying. How will she deal with other crises that can for sure come up quite commonly in relationships? You know, the longer you're together, the more likely you are to have other situations where there's a crisis that comes up of some form or another. And you were right, so I told her that too. And she got mad and interrupted me at that point. She said I was being unfair, that I wasn't taking into consideration her mental health at the time. She said that she wasn't thinking straight, but that now she was. I took the chance to ask her if she'd been to therapy, and she told me she hadn't, and that she had no plans to, and that she didn't need to. That would be where I would go, yep, no, we definitely can't try this again. Because if you're not even prepared to go to couples therapy or therapy, I cannot do this again with you, because I feel that we're going to get history repeating itself the next time something comes up. I have to admit that crushed me a little. I asked her why, just why? It's the one question I've wrestled with over the months. And she said that she'd gone looking for support groups and found a lot of women who had stories about their partners leaving. She even mentioned Reddit, funnily enough. She said she talked it through with her sister, Sarah. Anna said that Sarah, to her credit, had tried to dissuade her from divorcing me, but that between social media and some of Anna's friends, Anna felt like she had to go through with it to be seen as a strong woman. That is word for word what she said to me. I don't remember anything else exactly, but I will never forget that. She broke my heart, threw away our relationship because somehow in her mind that translated to being strong. She then started trying to tell me we could get back together again, but at that point I just told her flat out that wasn't happening. What it comes down to for me is that I just can't trust her. I would always be worried about the same thing happening again. She cried a lot and tried convincing me for a little while. When I got up to leave, she threw her iced coffee in my face and stormed out. Wow. Okay. So yeah, we're definitely not getting back together. I have the closure I always wanted. I wish I felt better. I've been dwelling on it for the past day and a half. I keep wondering if there's something I could have done better. Some way I could have saved our relationship. No, she was determined to end the relationship at that point, and she was listening to everyone but you, unfortunately, so I really don't think there was anything that could be done. But I know there's not. I've blocked a number. I kind of hope I never hear from her again. Yeah, I hope you don't either. I completely understand that she was going through a lot, and I really do feel for her in that way. But she's got to realize that what happened. It's broken the trust. It's left the OP feeling like they're on very unsteady ground with them, and you just can't get that back once you've screwed it up, you know what I mean? And I feel if she'd at least just said, look, we'll try therapy, I'll give it a go, I'll go with you, that we would be talking about a whole different thing here right now. Like, I reckon that the OP would have given her a chance at least. But she didn't want to do that, so it is what it is, unfortunately. But I hope she's doing better health-wise, and I hope the OP is doing better mental health-wise and getting over that whole thing. So, down in the comments, HPFan1516 says, the whiplash between "you can't blame me, I was having mental health issues" and "I don't and never will need therapy" is wild. And then Indigo Au Naturel says, right, I assumed that she meant she had gone to therapy and gotten some clarity, but she sure fooled us. I think the unfortunate truth is, though, that therapy is still very largely stigmatized in a lot of communities and on just a wider scope worldwide. Like, there is a lot of people that I know that would never go to therapy. You wouldn't catch them in therapy. And when I say that I have a therapist, I see some people looking at me sideways as if they think that I talk to the walls or something on a daily basis. Like, I mean, even if I did, it's none of your business. But you know what I mean? Like they seem to think therapy is only for people like in the extreme end of mental health issues. And it's like, trying to get people to understand that no, it's good for everyone, and it's also good for the people around you if you go. Do you know what I mean? It is sad that it's still so stigmatized, honestly. I feel like it's got a bit better from when I was like early 20s, but even still, not that much. Like, early 20s me would never have gone to therapy, by the way, for my anxiety. Never ever, because it was so like stigmatized. And it has got better with people being more open to talk about things sort of online and in open spaces, but there is unfortunately still a big stigma around it for a lot of people. So yeah, hopefully that changes soon. I feel if a lot more people went to therapy, the world in general would be a much better place. Seriously. Okay then, so I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, then I appreciate you very, very much. I want to go and lie flat on my back in my bed. I've got such a bad back today. I must have slept like a shrimp last night, honestly. Like a proper little prawn. Because I woke up and I was like, oh my god. And it's like, it's such a weird place on my back as well. It's like dead in the center and like on my spine kind of thing. I don't know. I really don't know what I've done to myself in my sleep. Maybe I went sleepwalking off somewhere. I don't think I've ever sleepwalked. How would you actually say that, like, in that context? I don't know. But yeah, so now I'm just like, oh, I just want to be like flat. Just as flat as a pancake. Anyway. Don't forget to like, subscribe, notifications on, smack that like button, smack Big Al right on the botty. And there's your initiation into the Covenant Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye.